the seams by the looks of things. I must have been frozen for over 100 years. We'll soon find out. I think it's about time I dusted off the portal. Time to bring back Arthur. Tomla, Erslicht ko volsigit. With a crown of gold and a scroll bearing his name, I summon King Arthur.
Merlin's beard, where am I?
More to the point, when are you? It's good to see you again, old friend.
Merlin, what's going on?
Follow me, I'll tell you everything I know. Mordred froze me deep under the mountain. The last thing I remember was Mordred casting the spell and freezing me in that godforsaken cave. The next thing I knew, I was coming to with melting ice all around me.
We didn't know what happened to you for all those years. How long have you been frozen, Merlin?
Well, you'll need to brace yourself for this one. I've consulted my astronomical charts and compared them to the night sky, and it looks like I was frozen for 1,500 years. If my calculations are correct, Arthur, this is the year 2023.
I've been dead for over 1,000 years? And how did you escape the ice?
Well, it seems the world is much warmer now than it was before. All the mountain ice melted and flooded the cave with warmer water. But Arthur, I'm convinced I'm back for a reason. We need to assemble the Knights of the Round Table again and figure out the lay of the land.
What about Mordred? Is he still out there?
I don't know. I don't know much about anything. We need to split up, venture out, and discover what the world has become in our absence. I will summon Lancelot and the others, and we will reconvene here at the tower in a fortnight. Oh, and Arthur, be careful. I saw some weird things on my way here from the mountain. People dressed in strange, bright clothing, running away from God knows what. Some of them were talking to themselves with strange objects in their ears. Who knows what foul devilry Mordred might have wrought since we've been gone.
I will. And if I catch wind of that rodent, I'll bring you his head and you can put it in one of your potions. I assumed it must have been some giant beast. It roared and ran up to me faster than I would have thought possible. Then as the creature approached me, it slowed to a stop, and a man stepped out of its head through one of its ears. There were scores of the beasts in town. The people seemed to have tamed them and used them to get around like horses.
I was just as alarmed. Apparently they're called cars, and they aren't beasts. Instead, they're machines, powered by some sort of alchemy.
None of this is natural, Merlin.
Well, I agree that it's all a bit overwhelming, Arthur. However, there seem to have been some other rather useful developments. I found the most remarkable device in a shop last week. It's some sort of enchanted communication mirror. The man in the shop demonstrated to me that if one has such a device, it would enable them to communicate with someone else with the same device miles away.
How is such a thing possible?
I haven't the foggiest, but you should be able to see it in action shortly. I managed to barter for 2 of these devices, and all it cost me was a few pieces of gold. It was almost as if he'd never seen gold coins before. Anyway, I have one of these enchanted mirrors, and the other is with Lancelot. With the help of the mage in the shop, I think we both know how to operate them. We should be receiving a call from Lancelot any moment now. Follow me. It's set up through here.
How will we know when he's trying to contact us?
Well, the mage in the shop said that it should emit a strange noise, and then I need to guide this small arrow using this strange device. Ah, yes, this is it. Let me see now.
It's still making a noise, Merlin.
Yes, I know. Give me a moment. Now.
It's still making the noise, Merlin.
And there you go. Blast this thing.
What about if you try this?
Merlin. Thank goodness for that. I thought the mage had sold us a faulty mirror.
Lancelot, what the devil have you got on your face, man?
These are called fun glasses. I've been told that maidens love them. Also, I'd like you both to refer to me as Lance from now on. Well, Lance, have you found out anything useful that would help us understand the new world? Well, as a matter of fact, I have. Women have changed.
Women have changed? How so?
Well, for one thing, they don't cover their hair anymore. They leave it to fly majestically in the wind like the mane of a horse. It's a wonderful development. That's about where the good stuff ends, though. What are you on about, Lancelot? It's Lance. And the problem is that my usual approach to woo them no longer works.
Have you tried the classic approach of amazing them with a feat of heroics and strength, slinging them over your steed, and then proposing marriage to them?
Yes, multiple times. And what happened? I've been slapped 3 times. I've had an ale poured over my head. One maiden kicked me in the fork of my legs. I haven't been able to walk properly for a week. I'm beginning to wonder what's going on. Well, this is an extraordinary development.
So how is one to approach a fair maiden?
Well, there's a man called Kevin at the tavern in town who has a thing called an iPhone.
What's an iPhone?
It's a small version of one of these magical mirrors, except it's full of pictures of women. Kevin says that these women can see pictures of him, and this is how he approaches them. This is extraordinary. Kevin has set me up with an iPhone and told me to wear fun glasses and change my name to Lance. He said it was cool. Apparently cool is a good thing that maidens like.
And have any women selected you on the iPhone?
Not a single one. I'm at a loss about what to do. All I want is to meet a nice woman and marry her.
Well, does Kevin have a woman of his own? What does he suggest?
The thing is, Kevin doesn't have a woman, and neither do any of the other men in the tavern. I don't think the magic of the iPhone works on females at all. All the men I've met so far are sad and alone. It used to seem so easy, and now in this new world my confidence has been destroyed. Please, Merlin, I need some of your wisdom. Surely the ways of women can't have changed this drastically in the last 1,000 years? Well, this seems to be a grave situation. I just so happen to have an idea. What is it, Merlin? Well, I've been catching up on some reading from great writers and thinkers that we've missed in the last 1,000 years. There's a whole wealth of knowledge that's been amassed while I've been frozen. I've been reading some incredible stories written by a great Englishman who lived a few hundred years ago. His name is... Oh, let me see now. Here we go. I know it's here somewhere. There we go. William Shakespeare. He writes many tales about women and love. What does he say about women, Merlin? Well, his tales are wonderful, but he talks funny and I'm not entirely sure what he means half the time. So I'd better summon him using the portal and we can find out what he knows about women and love. Of course, the portal.
Excellent idea, Merlin. We can speak to this William Shakespeare and report back to the rest of the round table with the new wisdom we've gained.
Let us prepare for the ritual. Lancelot, I will contact you using the enchanted mirror. Brilliant.
How do we stop the mirror, Merlin?
And with an ostrich quill and a scroll bearing his name, I summon William Shakespeare. By the gods, what fate hath befallen me? I am the wizard Merlin. I've used magic to summon you through time to the Tower of 70 Windows. Magic? How dare you, you utter fopdoodle! I am directly amidst penning a sonnet for my fair vestal, sweet Bessie. Who on earth is that? Her Majesty Elizabeth. I am writing a play for the Queen. I must return with haste, lest she castigate me. Yes. Well, we won't keep you long. We've summoned you for your wisdom about love. Love? Yes, in this time your plays are considered a great authority on love. Is that so? I'm barely surprised. Very well. For what troubles dost thou seek aid? Our friend Lancelot has been trying to find a woman. Lancelot? I've read tales of that scoundrel. A bedswerver who dallies with pewter elves.
Well, I would hardly call Guinevere a...
As I was saying, Lancelot has been attempting to woo maidens, but the modern ways are somewhat different to our time. Yes, women can be waspish. Beware of their sting.
This we know only too well.
Bill, what wisdom do you have for Lancelot? And how must he approach women in this newfangled mess of a world? It is thus as it ever was. Young men's love lies not truly in their hearts, but in their eyes. To win a maiden you must mature, abandoning shallow thoughts. Go on. Listen well to these words. My mistress's eyes are nothing like the sun. Coral is far more red than her lips red. If snow be white, why then her breasts are dun. If hairs be wires, black wires grow on her head. I've seen roses damasked red and white, but no such roses see I in her cheeks. I love to hear her speak, yet well I know that music hath a far more pleasing sound. And yet, by heaven, I think my love as rare as any she belied with false compare.
So what you're saying is...
Love looks not with the eyes, but with the mind.
Ah.
And therefore is winged Cupid painted blind. I see. So you mean that Lancelot needs to stop putting so much effort into trying to look good,
Looking less like a horse's backside, you mean?
and spend more time becoming a better person? Be valiant, kind, competent in one's profession, and maidens shall flock to thee. Dispense with the frippery of fashion and boastful utterances.
So Lancelot can ditch the fun glasses then?
Who is the object of your friend's desire? What fair lady has caught his eye? Well, it's a bit complicated. He's trying to court many hundreds of ladies at once. He wishes to establish a harem? By the heavens. Clearly a chaser of pewter elves is he, just as I have read.
No, you misunderstand. In this time, men and women are presenting each other on a thing called a dating app.
A dating app?
Yes, we don't know why it's called that, but all the men and all the women can see each other and approach each other from afar, using magic letters and portraits before meeting, and from this large field of suitors, one must select the desired candidate.
This is extraordinary. Am I to understand that Lancelot is on display to all the women in the land, along with all the other members of his sex? Precisely. So every cream-faced loon must compete with the statuesque and square of jaw? I begin now to understand the dilemma of your unfortunate friend. Quite. As you can see, these are dire circumstances. Despite appearances, women are simple creatures. They changeth not over the course of time. This above all, to thine own self be true. Lancelot must be patient and himself. Of all the lovely maids in the land, by his and only his uniqueness will one of them be charmed. If that works not, tell him to accrue vast riches, but blame me not for the quality of wench whom such a course of faction would attract. If all else fails, he can always become a playwright. I can personally vouch for the astounding effects of a well-turned phrase on women. Now, send me back to my queen at once. Yes, of course. All you need to do is jump back into the portal. But before you go, Bill... If you ever call me Bill again, I shall crush you maliciously as though you were no more than a mandrake mimikin.
A what?
Well, that was enlightening. We're all very pleased to see you've dispensed with the fun glasses and the rest of your jester's outfit, Lancelot. Or should I say, Lance? Who would have thought? I got rid of the fun glasses and was contacted by a fair maiden the next day. Yes, who could possibly have predicted such a thing? And I used the advice you got from Sir Shakespeare to speak to her. Clearly he was right. She says she wants to meet me and take me to see something called Tekashi 69. What's a Tekashi 69? I have no idea, but sounds good wherever it is. I can't wait.